Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Today, we're going to be talking about me and my stuff that you can buy right now, guys. Check it out. If you want to support the channel, I got some long sleeve tees. I got some regular tees. I got great masks that's handmade by Jules with these great adjustable little balls right there. Most comfortable mask you'll ever wear. How about your very own tennis spin dampener? Or a phone pop socket? All right. International shipping now available. Check it out. Tennis Spin USA, or click on the link below. All right. So a bunch of you in the last, I want to say year, have Instagrammed me and emailed me, put in the comments saying, hey, how do I spot a fake counterfeit tennis racket? Well, I've been actually trying to buy one, but I can't. It's hard to find these days. I know they're out there on eBay, but I feel like eBay is policing that pretty well. So I went to my buddy Patrick, and he said, you know what? I got one off of eBay a little over a year ago, and I'll send you over the pictures. So he bought a RF Pro Staff a little over a year ago, and he also bought a real one from me. So he said, hey, I wanted to just spend $150 on it. So I decided to buy a second one off of eBay. And when he got the racket, he was like, there's something fishy about this racket. So he took a bunch of pictures, went back to the guy and said, I don't think this is a real racket. And the guy was like, no, it's a real thing. And then he was like, he took pictures side by side with both rackets and was like, yeah, this isn't the real thing because the real thing's supposed to look like this. But finally, he got his refund back. But there are people still out there trying to pawn off these counterfeits, but I think it's getting rarer and rarer these days. Let me start by saying something really simple. Counterfeiters will not be making rackets that aren't big sellers. So if you own something that's lesser known, let's say a Donné racket or a Pro Kennex or even a Dunlop or Head, except for some of the higher end rackets, like maybe a Head Speed Pro or a Head Speed MP, the counterfeiters are probably not going to make those rackets because they don't sell that many on the mainstream market. So why make it? So what? It's not going to sell, right? Come on. They're going to make rackets that are mainstream top sellers, right? What are the top sellers today? What? A Clash, Wilson Clash, Banana Yellow Arrow, Pure Drives, right? I would say Arrows and Pure Drives and the Roger Federer Pro Staffs are probably the top 3 rackets that are counterfeited because they sell, right? They sell a lot of them. So people don't want to spend the $250, $220 price tag. So they want to spend $100, right? I mean, I've even had a customer had an arrow come in, and I looked at it. I was like, this isn't the real racket. His answer was, I paid $100 for it. I kind of expected it. So, hey, sometimes you get what you pay for. If you get Banana Arrow for $100, it's probably fake, okay? And if it's brand new, it's probably fake, all right? So here's the thing about fake rackets, though. You have to have a new one that's authentic to go side by side in order to tell the differences. Now, let's start with a Pro Staff RF 97 edition. I have some pictures on a slideshow here that I will be sliding through here as I talk through. So to show you, okay? As well as I have this one, which is authentic, but I'll point out what to look for. First thing, as in this slide right here, you're looking at the barcode, right? They're getting better with the barcode, but you can tell with this slide that it's missing half, 3/8, quarter, 5/8, right? It just says 4, right? So counterfeiters are lazy, right? They don't want to put 4 1/4, 4 3/8. That means they have to make a bunch of labels. So by putting just a 4 in front of there, right, it kind of covers up everything else. They could just put the same label on every racket. Next thing to look for, look at the butt cap. Like they went to all black this year. But in Patrick's year, a year and a half ago, it was red, okay? So I'm gonna give you a better example. Look at the slide, right? Look at how, this is a real one, but look at the slide. Look at how it's centered, right? If it's not centered, if it's a little off, right? As bad as Wilson's quality control is, they actually do keep the details very, very sharp. So the W is usually almost 100% centered in the authentic ones. Now, paint and the writing is the next important thing. Now, let's look at this, right? Look at the detail. It's centered. This is centered. The paint is sharp. A fake one will probably be not this sharp. It might even be off center. And another thing about the writing, take a look at the font, right? They're capitals and it's a specific font. Sometimes the counterfeiters cannot obtain this font, so it may not look perfectly like this writing. And then more attention to detail, right? Wilson puts a little W on the end of this grommet here, right? The counterfeiters will probably not do that. They'll probably be missing. Looking at the paint and the grommet color, right? This is very consistent. Sometimes you see the counterfeiters have it kind of fade a little bit here. So the paint consistency isn't quite there. Another thing to look at is, let's look at the grommets here. The grommets are actually perfectly placed. They perfectly fit, right? So the detail is there. You see the center point right there. I'll flip this over for you. Pro Staff, Wilson Pro Staff, right? It's smooth right here, right? It's not smooth here. So that detail will probably not take place with a counterfeit racket. Another place that counterfeiters try to cut corners on is the placard, right? You see how sharp the colors are, how thick the paper is, how the back has a sharp, dark black to it, right, with the details. And Roger's face is pretty sharp right there. A counterfeiter's probably not going to go through the hassle of making a perfect placard. The shape will be perfect. The color will be off. So look for that. And then the words inside, right? Look at how white that is and how sharp that is. And when you feel over it, you don't feel it. Don't feel the words bulging out, right? I'm going to turn it over to the other side. This is a sticker. This is a sticker, and that is a barcode. But that's perfectly placed with that W next to it. So I've seen the counterfeit ones. The sticker actually isn't placed very well, and the sticker is actually not sticking very well. So be careful of that. Let's take a look at this sticker right there. As you can see, when I tilt it to you, you can actually see the words. When I tilt it away, it actually goes away. I forget what you call that, but it's some kind of a refracting mechanism that the counterfeiters will not spend the money for. So you'll just see a glossy, maybe even bigger 3D barcode or or tag here for the racket that distinguishes this particular racket. So Wilson with this basically has these rackets numbered. So this barcode tells them what number this racket is. So every racket is individualized with this barcode and numbered. So they know where this racket came from and where it's going. So if ever they need to track a racket, they know that it got shipped here to this store and was sold out of this store. So I've seen the counterfeit ones basically have the same barcode on every single racket. And a lot of the times it's semi-peeling off. And it's bigger. Okay, so another thing to look for, and I've seen it a lot on these Aero Pros, is you have to kind of have another one though, a real one side by side, is the wording is usually off. Like that black on the counterfeits will not be that black, and it may not even be positioned correctly. This pure arrow here may be positioned slightly off. This arrow here will be positioned slightly off. This Babolat up here, right, will not be in the right spot. It'll be a little bit off because it's difficult to make this exactly where the real one is. So you'll probably see it hanging off the side here on the fake ones. I've seen these rackets where they're all the same grip size, which is usually like a quarter, right? And they will individualize the grip by shoving this into a 3/8 butt cap that they made and try to look authentic, right? And just staple it in so that when you start playing with it, it quickly gets loose. They've shoved the quarters into the half ones. No 5/8 though, guys. So they're only going to do quarters and 3/8 and maybe a half, but they're all going to be the same grip size. You shove it in and they're just going to staple it. They get loose real quickly. Another way to actually tell is to actually take this off, take the grip off, and you know this is cast foam underneath there. The fake ones are probably not going to be cast foam. There's some kind of a plastic polymer or a rubber piece that will not feel the same way as a real thing. So if you take this off, you can pretty much tell a fake from a real. Or pop the butt cap off and see what it looks like inside. Is it sprayed with foam or is it hollow? Let's take a look. All right, so let's open this up. So this one is hollow, okay? So for more feel, right? You'll probably see that on the fake ones, they will inject stuff in here so it doesn't vibrate so much. Because the quality control definitely will not be there. The racket is going to vibrate. It will not feel solid. So they actually shove stuff in here so that it doesn't vibrate. So it, lessens the vibration and the jolting that the racket will give you. The final thing is the color. We always look at the color. This is banana yellow, right? The ones I've seen aren't quite banana yellow. They're, I don't know, maybe a little more fluorescent or a little faded or a little dull. The fake ones cannot match the perfect color of this banana yellow, right? So we all know that the Pure Drive just came out now. So I'm guessing those guys are starting to work on these already, but it's going to take a little while, right? Because they have to take one of these and then, the racket mold's already there. They just have to match the paint and the details. So Right now, I doubt that there are any counterfeits of this out right now, but there probably will be in the next, I would say, 3 to 6 months. So, but you're probably safe right now getting a pure drive from pretty much anywhere. That is my guess. I can't keep track of those guys and I don't know how fast they work, but definitely this is going to be a top seller if not already. So they're definitely going to try to get fakes out as fast as they can. All right. So I just taught you how to spot a fake racket. It's pretty difficult unless you have the real thing kind of sitting next to it, but I've showed you what to look for. I hope that helped. Thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.